Hey there friends, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another speed build. Today we are decorating an area for Tiana's palace in the Glade of Trust. I am really happy with the way this turned out and I hope it gives you some inspiration. If you're new to the channel, please be sure to subscribe. We are super close to hitting YouTube partner status, the ability for me to add emotes and have memberships and all that other fun stuff that comes along with it. So please be sure to watch the video in its entirety. I really hope you enjoy it. I was originally planning to put Tiana's Palace up in the plaza with Remy's restaurant and the other shops. And once I started trying to plan out where it was going to go, I knew that it was not going to fit. And so I decided to move it down here to the Glade of Trust. And I absolutely love the way that it turned out down here. I think it fits down here perfectly. And then when I was working on this pond, I did make sure that I can fish over it. So keep that in mind if you've been trying to figure out a way to put fences around ponds. I've never put a fence fully around a pond before. You can still fish in it, so that's pretty exciting. I decided to use the gazebo and the streetcars from the premium, wait, no, they were from the Star Path, as well as a part of this build. And then I also used the fireflies throughout it just to give it a more magical touch. I love the way the streetcars look in addition to this area. I love the symmetry that I decided to do in here. And then I did add in some of the train tracks underneath the streetcars. I just thought that looked like it worked perfectly, and it did. I don't really know what I'm talking about at this point. I've done this recording once and there was something weird. Like the audio is all weird, so I'm trying to figure out what I have already said and then what I said before. But nice thing is, in the last recording that I did, the first one, I found an entire segment of the video. It was almost a minute long that I did not cut. So I guess that works out. I was able to go back and cut that out because it was literally like a trip to Scrooge's shop and me crafting something at one of the crafting stations. That's something that I always cut out. I don't leave in trips to the shop. I don't leave in times where I stop and like run through it most of the time anyway. Sometimes I do. And then I cut out if I have to stop and craft things. So that's why sometimes on my videos there's lots of cuts. I'm pretty bad at pre-planning. Like, I'm like, oh, you know what? I want to decorate this. And I kind of just go and start on it and kind of see what I like, what I don't like, what kind of items I might want to have in it, what might look good. Like, I don't plan it out right at the very beginning, if that makes sense. I'm not a big pre-planner with decorating. I'm more of, let's see what comes to mind and what I think looks good. Because if I was to pre-plan and really like focus on the pre-planning, I feel like I would just get frustrated. Because what if I had pre-planned for an item to fit somewhere and this, that, and the third to be included and they just don't fit, you know? Like, I feel like that would just be overly frustrating, at least for me. I know I'm sure there's plenty of people who post content and post speed builds like this and they do a lot of the pre-planning. I'm sure they turn out lovely. I could never. So what I decided to do out here, I decided to make an area on one side that could be kind of like outdoor seating for the interior of the restaurant. And then I decided to make an area on the other side that was specifically for the meal stall. So like if you just wanted to go and grab a meal, you'd sit over there. I guess you could go sit on the other side too, but if you were specifically wanting to order from inside the restaurant, you would sit on the other side and someone would come out and take your order and everything like that. So I actually did remember to add lights into this build, which a lot of the times I kind of forget. There's something weird with the lights. I did cut this out of the video. You can see it later on. But when I went in to look at the area, when I went out of furniture mode and went in to look at the area, it was so bright. And I'm not sure if that's something that, you see, you can kind of see it from the lights. Like they're too bright, aren't they? Like it's not just me. But they're so bright. And I think that just recently started happening with the recent update that brought Tiana and the new Star Path and Jafar. I really feel like they were never that bright to begin with. Because I've used these before, but I also don't ever play at night. And I don't always look at my builds at night when I'm finished with them. Well, I'm trying to get better at looking at them while I go, like in different lighting aspects. But is this something that you all are experiencing as well in your game, where the lights are just way too bright? I'm debating on whether or not I should report it. Like, I don't know if it's an actual issue or if it's just like me thinking it's too bright. Like, it was awful. It was foggy, and so it was even brighter because of the fog. And I like ran off to Eternity Isle to check Oswald's area, and even that area is too bright at night, especially in the fog. So I don't know about you, but it's too bright for me, and I'm just going to play my game in the daytime. Like, even at night, I change the time to have it be daytime. And honestly, the game itself, even at night, is still bright enough to see everything. So I just don't see the reason for these lights being as bright as they are. There's one thing that I'm going to have to change in this build, and that's the well. When I warp to the well, I warp facing the palace, Tiana's palace, the restaurant. And right now, there's no pathway out of there. So like there's a pathway going forward, but there's no other pathway. If I wanted to go around the rest, I'd go between trees. Of course, you can do that. But I like having pathways that connect everything together. So I'm going to have to figure out how to keep the well here, but have pathways branching off and not lose all of the pretty trees that I put in front of it either. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll figure something out. But I also noticed the same issue with this well as I did with the well in the Sunlit Plateau. For whatever reason, you cannot get bushes as close as you can to some of the wells. Specifically, the one that I had looked at just now was the well in the Peaceful Meadow. I can get bushes a lot closer to that one than I can with this one, and I'm really not sure what the issue is. Has anybody else noticed this problem with some of the wells where it's just like you can't quite get the decorations right up to them like you can with some other ones? Those were the trees that I was talking about, the magnolia trees. Those are the ones that I don't want to move, but I might have to just to be able to put a path. I guess I could move the well back and then create a path. I'm not sure. I'm trying to map it out as I'm doing this voiceover to try to see if I can figure out what to do. Nothing's coming to my brain here. The magnolia trees that I put on the back entrance into the back corner of the Glade of Trust. I do end up adjusting those just because I realize I can't get to the dig spots. So if you're looking at this and you're like, hey, I don't think you can go past those, you're exactly correct. I could go all the way around, except for the fact that I decided to add more trees in the exterior. So I do end up adjusting that to make sure I can get to the dig spots. That's something that's very important. Whether you're a seasoned player or you're brand new, try to not block those dig spots. You never know when you might have a quest, something in the star path or anything like that that might require you to be able to get to that dig spot. Just a tip. Just a suggestion, you know. I'm not telling you not to do it, but I would highly suggest against it. Now, I did end up using this area for the Princess Week Dream Snap Challenge. I unfortunately didn't do very well on it. I only got 900 moonstones, but I'm going to go ahead and show you all that picture that I submitted. I'll put that up on the screen for a minute. I personally thought it was a very pretty shot for this Dream Snap Challenge, but I mean, in all fairness, I didn't put a whole lot of work into it. I already had the area built and I just kind of put on an outfit and grabbed Tiana, so fair enough. I'm hoping to do better in the next challenge. I don't know yet what I'm gonna do for the camping one. I do already have the campfire. I'm like halfway through the marshmallow event, so there's not too much there. My plan is to have as many marshmallows left over after the event as I possibly can. You never know when you might want to craft something later down the road with them. And those campfires are super cool, the way they pull a lot of villagers in. I was kind of hoping, I don't know what I was hoping. I was kind of thinking that maybe it would give you a way to like choose which villagers. I think for the items that pull villagers in, I think it would be super, super neat if it had an option to like choose what villagers do you want to join you for a picture and everything like that. I think that would be a really cool aspect to add. I don't know if that's something that's possible or that's even like on the timeline at all of what they might add to the game, but you know, who knows? That could be something that they could add later on for those aspects and those items that allow you to pull villagers in for photos. Maybe one day we'll be able to choose what villagers are pulled into the photo. That'd be really, really cool. But we are getting to the end of the build. If you enjoyed this build and it gave you some inspiration on how to decorate Tiana's palace in the Glade of Trust, or just in general on how you could decorate her area, please be sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment down below and let me know if you're having the same issues with the lights as I am. I would really love to know if it's just me or if other people are also having the same blinding light effect that's going on right now in my game. But thank you again so much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, everybody.